I want to get into these headlines though, pretty quickly, Parker, because there is some pretty big ones. Starting with the breaking news, literally just came out this morning here on a Thursday. Big Ben Roethlisberger. I know this one touches close to your heart. Big Ben Roethlisberger is officially retiring from the NFL today. He said in a video, he said in the video that it's time to clean out his locker and hang up the cleats. So yeah, he's officially retiring from the NFL at the age of 39 after 18 seasons in the NFL. Parker, what's just kind of your initial reaction from this news? And second question to that is, how are you going to remember Big Ben, obviously as a Ravens fan, but also just as a fan of the NFL?
Well, I can answer the second bit first. As a fan of the NFL, it's definitely it's impressive to see Big Ben leave because he's been such a force in the league for 18 seasons. Yeah, he played 18 seasons in the league. And he famously didn't take as good a care of himself as Tom Brady did. So it's arguably more impressive that he lasted almost as long as some of these legendary quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That said, as a Ravens fan, he's been an absolute scourge. Because of him, Tomlin and Harbaugh just about split. They're about 500 on all meetings. Because of this season, they're now the Steelers now slightly have the lead in that era of the rivalry. The one thing that I really want to just say about Big Ben is a story that I heard from Ray Lewis on a interview he did, or on a talk show he did about 4 years ago, just talking about this rivalry. When he came in 2004, it was Ravens Steelers, and the Ravens defense had just knocked out Tommy Maddox. Big Ben came in and he lit up a great Ravens defense. Like, this was the mid 2000s Ravens. It wasn't the 2000 Ravens defense, but they were still a great defense, and he lit them up. And to this point, that the members of that Ravens defense still apparently text each other saying, man, we really should have treated Tommy Maddox like he had a red jersey on, because he was nowhere near the force that this guy turned into. So that just kind of speaks to how amazing a talent he was. He could make any play in his prime. He won 2 Super Bowls that he deserved. Personal stuff aside, he really seemed to have turned it around from that point. Yeah, and the last thing really as a Ravens fan is he really respected the rivalry. He gave his all into things like that. He cared about the teams that he had these heavy interactions with. And even when the fans seemed like they hated him, he still showed all this love and respect for the organizations. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy once he's gone next year. And no matter who the Steelers quarterback is, it's not gonna feel the same.
Yeah, and kind of just to echo off that, I mean, that's kind of the first thing that came to mind when I saw this story, because I think everyone knew that he was going to be gone after the season just based off his play on the field. But it's just going to be so weird just looking at the Steelers next year and knowing that Big Ben is not going to be their quarterback. Like, because Big Ben has obviously been the face of the franchise for 18 seasons, essentially. I mean, not all of them, but he's obviously been there for the face of the franchise for almost all those 18 seasons. There was a segment, Parker. I can't remember if it was early this season or maybe even last season. It was a segment on Colin Cowherd, in fact, and I can't remember the name of the segment, but basically he would look at every one of every quarterback in the league just based off their picture and then kind of their identity on the field, and then matched it with the town that he thought the quarterback fit in the best. And so
I saw this one.
It was actually a pretty interesting segment. So like he would put it was, and out of all the quarterbacks in the league at that time, I believe this happened last season. He matched 2 quarterbacks to the team that they were currently playing for. One of them was Gardner Minshew with Jacksonville. He said that his personality and his play on the field fit the Jacksonville style quarterback, just kind of reckless and weird and just kind of out there. The second one that he matched together based on personality and just the team city was Big Ben Roethlisberger with Pittsburgh. And I think he was absolutely right, because he basically said that, Big Ben's style was just he's big, he's kind of like your meat and potatoes guy. He does what has to be done. He wins the big games. He's got a big arm, and he just kind of has that kind of like that bulldog mentality. So I think
Yeah.
and that's kind of what I'm gonna remember for Big Ben. Essentially, that's why I'm bringing this up. Like Big Ben idolized what I think of when I think of Pittsburgh football, and it's gonna be really even though he's obviously caused me some pain as an NFL fan at times. I am gonna dearly miss Big Ben, even though I think you're gonna be a little bit happy, or maybe even well, I think based off his play this season, I think you're actually a little bit disappointed to see him go. But I bet you're happy just as a Ravens fan. You know, oh God, get this Big Ben Roethlisberger finally out of my life.